Hello Virgo, and welcome to the Green Woman Tarot. This is your weekly reading for the third week of November 2020. So that's from the 16th to the 22nd of November. And it's a general reading just to see what sort of energies are around you at this time, to see what's on the cards for you. But before we delve into the tarot reading, I need to consult the oracle. And today I'll be using the Faerie guidance oracle to draw a couple of cards to start your reading off with. So let's see what words of wisdom the mysterious oracle has for Virgo for the third week of November 2020. What messages are here for Virgo for the third week? Did I say October? I meant November. What messages are here for Virgo for the third week of November 2020? Oh, okay. What does Virgo need to know? So let's see what you get. Prosperity. Ooh, that's nice. The inner power supplied by spiritual prosperity lasts an eternity. So feeling prosperous, it needn't be in a material sense. Having that strength and vitality in a spiritual level is a more permanent prosperity, and probably a more fulfilling one too. And then you've got dreams. Dreams see the possible pathways of a future that acts as a roadmap for our actions. So having a dream leads, lights the way forward. Having a dream gives you a destination to move towards, and finding prosperity there as well, in some form or the other. So let's see what the rest of the reading entails. Let's see what's on the cards for Virgo for the third week of November 2020. What messages are here for Virgo for the third week of November? What does Virgo need to know? Okay, Virgo, so, all right. I am going to draw an 8-card spread for you today. The first two cards show you where you are now in your situation. The second 2 cards highlight the challenges you face at this time. Then the next 2 cards will offer some guidance from Spirit. And then finally, the last 2 cards may reveal your possible outcome. So let's see what you get. You have the 10 of Wands and the Hermit as your current situation, depicting you where you are. Then you get Temperance and the Moon as your challenges. And beneath that, let me just make sure you can see them all, we have Justice and the 7 of Swords as your advice cards. And then finally you'll have the King of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands, showing your showing your possible outcome. And then, the Tower at the bottom of the deck. This denotes a big change. This speaks of outside forces that disrupt and bring about a major change. I mean, it could well be a moment of epiphany, but this sort of change is often unwelcomed, although in hindsight, one sees it as divine intervention, something that strips away the facade that has been built up around something that was perceived as secure, safe, valuable. Stripping that down to the bare bones reveals that perhaps it's something that you no longer need or no longer want. And that stripping away provides a clean slate for you to start again on. But it's certainly, this sort of may show things being toppled, things that seemed to be important. It's almost like the ivory tower falls. But let's look deeper into it as we go through the rest of the spread. So, you've got the Ten of Wands and the Hermit. I get a sense here that, for many of you, you've been carrying a heavy load, you've been shouldering a lot of responsibility, and it seems the more you took on, the more you seem to find that you were being pulled towards adding to your burden. As if the load wasn't heavy enough, there was always someone wanting more. There was always more needed of you. And I feel that something has made you realize that this burden is not as productive or as welcome or as useful to you as you thought it was. Perhaps you took on something, some project, some idea, some ambition, and have carried it for some time, and now a momentous moment has provided the epiphany for you, where you realize that it's not what you thought it was. It is a burden rather than something wonderful, some ambition that you were moving towards. And this causes a need for inner reflection, for soul seeking, finding something new, turning your back on what was burdening you, having realized for the first time that it was a burden rather than an adventure or something that was purposeful to you, that was meaningful to you. And letting go of that burden in order, and sort of needing to look within and find some answers for which sort of has led you towards walking away from whatever that burden was. You can even put here, this whole oracle card about prosperity makes me think, perhaps wanting to build up something of material value has burdened you, and perhaps a moment of epiphany resulting, it could be from a disruptive occurrence outside, in the outside energies around you, have made you realize that this prosperity, this material prosperity, isn't as meaningful or as rewarding as perceived initially, and has caused you to look within to find a more meaningful, perhaps a more spiritually aligned prosperity, something, finding a new sense of value in other things, having turned your back on what you previously deemed valuable, deemed worthy of working towards, of holding, of having. So your challenges at the moment is finding that clarity and getting a sense of direction, even though you're sort of moving in unknown territory, things are unclear. There's a sense of adventure, but it's tainted with inambiguity, and it's tainted with uncertainty. But trusting your instincts as you go. And you've got the Temperance here as, finding that sense of balance between what you once held valuable and what you're moving towards now. Needing to align two different energies, two different concepts, and amalgamate them to create something new and something meaningful for you. But, on the top layer of Temperance is this need for balance. So a need for clarity and balance, as well as that sense of trepidation one might feel when you're moving through an unknown and unclear territory. So your advice from Spirit is interesting as well. I get a sense here, looking at the Seven of Swords next to the Justice card. Again, Justice speaks of balance. She holds the scales, balance and truth. And holding on to what is important to you in your belief system, in an integral manner. It's sort of, the truth is important here, because the Seven of Swords talks about deceit, and that could well be self-deceit. So I think it suggests being wary of deceiving yourself. Or, for some of you, it may be coming to terms with what what you once may have deceived yourself about, in a non-judgmental sort of way, in a fair and unbiased way, using reasoning and rationality in order to understand and get a clearer perspective of what's brought you to where you are. That, following something that may have turned out to be not what it seemed, needn't be anything that you need to beat yourself up about. It's it's where you were. We learn through our mistakes. We learn as we go. And it's aligned with the Temperance and the Hermit. So the message I get here is don't judge yourself harshly. Know that you're now seeking something deeper, something more meaningful. And be gentle with yourself and perhaps with others. Another message I sort of sense from the Seven of Swords today is that idea that you may need to keep your cards close to your chest in this. You're moving away from something that was once seen as or perceived as stable and secure, and you embarking on a new direction. There may be some need to be not underhanded as such or secretive, but careful, guarded in what you reveal to others. Perhaps this is an inner growth, an inner path that you're embarking on, and it's something that you may want to hold close to your chest for some time. And I get a sense, you've got the Dreams card. I feel it's connected to this moment of epiphany, this realization that what you were working towards wasn't in line with your true dreams, your true desires. And part of what you may find in this inner seeking is that clarity of what you truly want, what you dream, what's going to make a new path for you to follow. And, you know, you may have to, the two energies that you may find yourself aligning here is what you truly want in your heart of hearts and what's practical and what fits in with what you feel is integral and balanced. And, you know, the moon, another energy that one gets from the moon is about your intuition, what's below the surface, and bringing that up into the foreground. So, yeah, your challenge is finding clarity, certainly, but also bringing up from the depths of your subconscious, from things you may well have forgotten or covered up, and bringing up what dreams you want to follow, what's your heart's desire, what you dream of. Even though you may find you required to hold that under wraps, to go under the radar a bit with it, to not speak out too clearly about it, hold it to your heart as you begin a new direction. And following that new direction takes you towards the King of Pentacles, which is an energy of ultimate success, but success that takes a long time and dedicated work, focus, and taking things step by step, having laid down solid foundations initially. So it certainly brings you towards a point of material comfort, and a new sense of adventure. The Knight of Wands speaks about venturing off on a quest that is inspired and exciting and driven by passion. So in a wrap, there you have a moment of epiphany that may make you realize what you've been working towards, what you've been holding and regarding as valuable is more of a burden than anything, and it causes you to look within, to find a new direction, and moving in that new direction you bring from forgotten memories or deep underlining subconscious levels of yourself. You align with what it is you truly want, and then you go for that with a passion and a desire that is adventurous and exciting. And if you're able to lay down firm, solid roots for this venture, then it could well provide you with that stability and security that is important to you. So there you have it, Virgo. I hope you enjoyed your reading and that it resonates with you. And if so, please remember to hit the like, share and subscribe buttons, and then have yourself a wonderful week. And God bless you till we meet again.